Tiobe index, which ranks programming languages on a scale of 1 to 20, has come out for April 2026. It's not a surprise to see Python at number 1 position. What's surprising is that even after years of bashing, C and C++ remains in the second and third position respectively. What's more interesting is that Rust, which is one of the most loved programming language, has moved to position number 16. In fact, the main title of this particular ranking is that Rust Rise shows signs of slowing down. Now, why I am talking about this? Because I have coded in C++ as well as in Rust, much more in C++ because of the obvious reasons. More projects were there in C++, more companies are using C++. But I believe that I can talk about it objectively and talk about a few points people are completely missing. Now let's start with comparing C++ and Rust. Now, when I learned Rust as a programming language, I liked it. I liked it as a system programming language, though it was difficult in the beginning, even for me, who is a very experienced C++ programmer. But over the period of time, I started liking it. It has some very cool features like memory management, ownership, concurrency, pattern matching, etc., which is cool, good. But let's ask the question, can we do the same things in C++? The answer is obviously yes. With the new versions of C++ and improvement in STLs, many of the things can be done. If some of the things which can't be done, we can write our own custom implementations for that. So something that are there in Rust but not there in C++, it's possible to build them with total control. Total control means when I'm implementing a different kind of memory management, I have a total control on how the memory will be managed as compared to Rust where the control is in the language itself, which is good. Not saying it's not good. So basically the difference is there. Let me tell you one surprising thing. The crux of comparing C++ and Rust was flawed since the beginning. I'm saying the comparison was flawed because it was deeply rooted in the language ability to manage memory and ownership. But people do not select a programming language to implement something based on their ability to manage memory or ownership. It's all about how comfortable and confident we are in doing something, because that is where we are going to build the product. Memory management and ownership comes later. And C++ as a language, because of being used by so many people, have so many resources, have so many forums where one can go and ask questions, it just trumps this particular part as compared to Rust. But I liked Rust, I wanted it to grow. Somehow it couldn't, and I put the blame, at least to some extent, to the people who are working in Rust, propagating Rust. Because the people who are in charge of advertising the Rust as a programming language, they focused excessively on the shortcomings of C++ rather than what Rust as a language has to offer. Not comfortable to hear, but this is true. And think about it, people has to be comfortable and confident in a programming language to create something. I mean, think about Python, it's number 1, right? Maybe 10x slower than C++ and Rust, or maybe many times bulkier than C++ and Rust, but still it's number 1 because of its ease of uses. People know it, there are lots of resources available for it, it's easy to learn. These things does matter. Now, Rust is also a programming language like any other programming languages around. It's not an ideology. But I was not at all happy to see people get triggered when you talk about C++ instead of Rust. As if Rust is a new ideology and must only be the ideology to follow. And this kind of behavior pushes people away from you. You don't realize it, but this is happening. I myself have had some awkward conversations many a times where people were just triggered by my choice of using C++ for some of the work I did. For them, C++ is a bad choice and must not exist. And it was really difficult to talk about my choices because the crux of the discussion was I shouldn't be having any choice in that regard. You cannot sell me something just by saying something else is bad. C++ has lots of shortcomings, but most of the world's major systems are running in C++. Most of the databases are built on C and C++. Linux kernel is built on C. Yeah, maybe some of the Rust code is started coming in, but pushing Rust as if it is better without giving a chance to evaluate anything, you are just pushing it and you are pushing away people. Because people are there in the technology, including me, because there are choices. And I should be free to take on my own choices, not imposed by someone else. If you do something like this, you are diminishing the value of the programming language you are propagating. I agree, it has lots of good things, but you should not push it in a way where it diminishes the value of it. Because if the value is something that it is better than something else, just because you are saying it has no value at all. So much so that even the White House recommendation mentioned Rust as a memory safe programming language. I'll give the web archive link in the description about this particular White House recommendation. I'm giving you web archive link because I'm not able to find the actual link. It may no longer be active. Agreed, memory management is a problem, but not the only problem in the world of software development. There are other problems too, more important than this. You first have to build something before you get into this kind of problem, and building is the most important problem someone needs to solve before even looking into something like this. And stop selling something as an utopian solution. There are no utopian solutions. Most of the time, it's the author of the code decides how your program will behave, how the ownership handles, and how the memory is managed. When the languages like Java and C#.NET came into picture, they sold garbage collector where you don't need to worry about memory, cleaning the memory. You still get lots of memory leaks in the programs written in Java and C#.NET. There are lots of memory related bugs, there are lots of memory leaks. It happens because it depends upon how you are creating something. So, last point, what is the future of Rust? It may still take off. It's a good system programming language comparable with C and C++, and in some aspect it's better than them, and in some other aspect it is either equivalent or less than them. It may still take off, but I am skeptical at this moment of time because this is the time where people are moving away from programming because of the AI. People want to write code immediately, fast, as soon as possible, and AI is making it possible. Rust is something that can't be learned immediately. Even for C++, if somebody is learning C++ today, starting it today, even C or C++, it can't be learned immediately. You need to go through multiple cycles of frustrations and failures to be able to learn these kind of languages. And I am afraid AI is taking away that quality from all of us, all of the programmers. So even though it may take off, even though it is a good systems programming language, but I am worried that it will not get the mass of the people, mass of developers that is required to push it as a de facto systems programming language. It has missed that particular threshold. Had it happened around 2016 to 2020 timeframe, it would have been the default as C++ today. But we don't know what may happen in the future. This video in no way was a comparison between C++ and Rust. I just talked about a few things which people don't while comparing these two languages. Do hope and believe that this video was informative for all of you. Thank you all. Thanks for watching. We will meet again. Till then, good day, goodbye. You take care.